Tēnā koutou e te whānau o Auckland Unitarians. Tēnā koutou e ngā manuhiri. Nau mai haere mai. Ki tēnei whare karakia o te atua. Welcome, welcome, welcome to us all. Welcome Auckland Unitarians, and welcome to any guests joining us on this first day of 2023. We welcome you into this online space made sacred by the attention and focus of the community of Auckland Unitarians. Ko inga rangi raua ko airana te whakapaparanga mai, engari. Ko tamaki makauru te whenua tupu. I kuru aina e au I o tautahi. Ke te whanganuia tāra au e noho ana ko Alix Geard ho. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. My ancestors came to this land from England and Ireland. I grew up in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, moved to Ōtautahi, Christchurch for study, and now live and work in Te Whanganuiatara, Wellington. Today, Ted Zorn and I will lead this service for New Year's Day. Ted, over to you.
Out of the Flames by Sarah Eileen Lawal. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions, to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith, with hope to heal a fractured and hurting world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace the mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise. Our opening song is a version of Spirit of Life, recorded by All Souls Church Unitarian, Washington, D.C., USA, while they were unable to meet in person. It is a trilingual version of our much-loved UU hymn. It begins in Spanish and American Sign Language, and then repeats in English. Kate will paste the Spanish and English words into our Zoom chat, so you can join them if you choose. Join in if you choose.
Our fourth principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Search is an interesting word there. One of its familiar meanings is to look for a thing that exists. Many truths about things in the world may indeed be found to be there by this kind of searching. We observe, we measure, we interpret patterns, we test. But searching for something can also mean reaching for it, wanting to have or share something. And getting that something can involve creating the thing, idea, or custom that you seek. Most meanings are things we make. Sometimes we share them, and that shared meaning is a way we bond.
If you have a chalice or candle at home, join with us in lighting it. The following words are Chalice Lighting for the New Year by Lisa Durga.
For the new year, just days old, beginning today, always beginning.
We light our chalice, symbol of faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonished thanksgiving and irrepressible praise.
For beginnings that emerge out of endings, appear amidst continuity, become visible in hindsight.
We light our chalice, symbol of faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonished thanksgiving and irrepressible praise.
For all the times and all the ways we have begun anew together.
We light our chalice, symbol of faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonished thanksgiving and irrepressible praise. Our second song is one that I think you will find enjoyable. The song is White Wine in the Sun by Tim Minchin. You will see that Kate has already been posting the lyrics, because in practicing beforehand, we realized that there seems to be a limit of how much you can post in the chat box at any one time, and it's quite a long song. Many of you will be familiar with Tim Minchin as a British-Australian comedian, actor, writer, musician, poet, and songwriter. And he wrote this song as a sort of humanist interpretation of Christmas. And it's an opportunity for us to reflect back on Christmas and what the season means to us as Unitarians. It is quite long, but I think you'll enjoy it. And this is one that Alix picked out all the music, and I really am happy that she picked this.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Greetings, greetings, greetings to us all. Welcome again to this, what I thought would be a small niche gathering of our community. Thank you for the opportunity to stretch outside my own comfort zone to address our group here. Happy New Year. Or should I say Happy Gregorian New Year? Let's come back to that. On this first day of the year, I want to talk about meaning. Specifically, I want to talk about how we take our small blue planet's gravitationally bound sweep around its star and turn one point on that circuit into a time for parties and New Year's resolutions and setting up a calendar for the year to come. About how different people and peoples do that differently and how we navigate getting along together. My thesis is that calendars start with things we observe, that we find the simplest calendars in the world around us. As our societies get more complex and need different types of things from their calendars, we tweak them away from straightforward observation to meet the new needs of granaries and taxes, feasts and fasts. We use our calendars to commemorate important things, the ascension of rulers, the actions of gods, the anniversaries of births, and other changes to our families. We note where to plant our crops, when our shared social and civic celebrations will happen, and we add our own favoured high days and holidays. Here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, there are civic and secular rituals for this time of year. There's a 2-week pause wrapped around the 4 public holidays. There are work shutdowns and change freezes in this suspended time. People travel to gather with family and friends or to take a holiday. News articles list things that happen in the year that's ending. There's cricket and a New Year's honours list. For a week or more, it's possible to lose track of what day it is, and there are memes about that too. We seem to hang, suspended in time, neither in one year nor the other. For those of us who have the week between our summer public holidays as the week outside of time, I hope you're feeling rested. For those supporting health services and infrastructure which can't shut down, I wish you well and hope that you've had a break recently or will get one soon. For those supporting family and friends over this time, I hope you find what you need to recharge, whether that's energy or stillness. We've spoken, including at our Christmas Eve service, about this time of year as an apex, a turning point in the passage of the years. There's a lot of talk of endings and beginnings. As January comes in, named for the two-headed god who looks to the past and the future, there's a sense that this period of suspended time is also a kind of chrysalis phase, dissolving the old year and preparing for a new year that's still unknown. There's a strong cultural sense of pivoting, of putting one unit of time aside as completed and embarking on a new one, of setting up a new journal, even hanging a new calendar, of assessing our priorities for the year ahead. I use the phrase looking ahead as I speak today. I want to note, though, that the idea of travelling forward into the future is a culturally mediated way of describing the passage of time. Te ao Māori famously holds that we move backward into the future, ka mua ka muri. We know the past and what's already been. We're unaware of what is yet to come. We live in a world of layered truths and meanings. This period of time that floats between the years is anchored between an astronomical event at solstice, a religious festival, and a civil celebration. How does it work for us? How did it come to be? Who does it speak to? How well does it fit this land and this latitude? My civil calendar is Gregorian, with the year beginning today. But in my civil life, I also work with the New Zealand tax year, which starts in April, and the government financial year starting in July. And there's a stunning array of times when people here celebrate a new year according to solar, lunar, and lunar-solar calendars. Many of them are occasions to share food and memories, to make noise, and, especially for the winter events, to light the darkness or wear bright colours. Our winter solstice is in late June, and our summer solstice in late December. Lunar New Year, also called Chinese New Year or Vietnamese New Year, is in mid-January. We'll move from the year of the tiger to the year of the rabbit. Historically, people who came to New Zealand from India tended to come from Punjab or Gujarat. Punjabi New Year is in mid-April, and Gujarati New Year is on the second day of Diwali in mid-November. Islamic New Year is in mid-July this year. Rosh Hashanah, one of 4 Jewish New Years, is in mid-September. The Christian liturgical New Year starts on the first Sunday of Advent, this year, early December. And of course, we have Matariki, still fresh as a public holiday, marking a Māori New Year in the darkest times. This year, the public holiday will be on the 14th of July, with celebrations for Puanga Matariki in the month around. This is a time found by watching the stars and given meaning, several meanings, with more being developed, by the people sharing in it. When you plan what to invest your creation of meaning into this year, I ask that you make Matariki one of the events you explore. We and others in our communities will celebrate each and several of these as New Year's. And although the year is a thing we can find by looking, the choice of when to mark its end and beginning is in good part a thing that we've created rather than a thing that existed for us to find. That's fine. We create meaning all the time, and I'm for it. It's good sometimes, though, to reflect on the meanings we've created and sift through them. What have we brought from old times and ancestors that we want to continue? What fits our current environment, social groupings, intentions? What would we like to add, remove, continue, or change? Some meanings we find. There's a cycle of the year based on the way our planet's tilt makes us experience the circling of the sun. Some meanings we invent. Each society seems to pick a point in that circling to declare to be the completion of one cycle and the beginning of another. Then we take our calendars with us, transplanting the things we find, tweaking to make them fit with other things that are also important to us. Sometimes this makes them lose their direct connection to the observed world. Seasons that make sense outside the tropics might have less relevance in the tropics. The Gregorian calendar and the Julian calendar before it held that New Year came in the winter at the first day, Calends, of January. And through a long history of politics, the layering of celebrations and the movement of people, it's arrived here in Aotearoa, where the Calends of January is a time of long days and relative warmth. Winter Christmas songs and symbols in Aotearoa are a callback to a transplanted tradition, and colonialism, and commercialism, and a connection with others around the world who share the symbols even when they're not part of lived experience. How do we relate to calendars and celebrations that were developed for places and societies that are in significant ways not like ours? We develop our own version of the meal with family and all the barbecues and white wine in the sun. We live in that alongside a cultural experience of snowflakes and sleigh rides. And as we move through the year, there's a good chance we'll experience at least a few of those many other ways of setting the new year that are celebrated here. A city planner I follow is fond of reminding us that to tell what a city really values, you don't go to its vision statement, but instead to its budget. For people, even more telling than that is to look at how we allocate our time. And part of that is what we choose to celebrate. When you set up a calendar for the year, what do you mark in it? Public holidays? Birthdays for friends and family? Weddings? Anniversaries? Poetry Day? Transgender Awareness Week? Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori? Parihaka? That catch-up you do each year with old friends, your grandkid's birthday, your anniversary. Ask yourself, to the extent that I can outline it, what is the shape of my year? What meanings do I find, gather, choose, and, yes, make as I'm swept into this next circuit of the sun? Now for our meditation, holding in mind both the Northern Hemisphere's winter imagery of the returning of the light and the New Year pattern of bringing the past to mind as we consider the future, let us reflect on this poem by Mark Stringer as the year winds down. Bare trees reach to a grey sky as the year winds down to its close, and we are submerged once again in the seasonal darkness we have come to know so well. We have reason to think back upon the year that was, only because it will soon be gone. We think back to the friends we have made, the sorrow we have endured, the love we have found, the loneliness we have survived. We think back to the blessings of being forgiven and the gift we offer to others when we forgave. We think back to those who listened to us in times of need and the times we could have listened more. We think back to the things we traded for our time and to what we may have overlooked in the process. We think back to the times when we were afraid and uncertain and we trudged ahead anyway. The times when we were compassionate and we could have been cold. In this season of still growing night, may we see more clearly against the dark backdrop of our living, the true light of our lives, the love we give to others, and the peace we nurture in ourselves.
Thank you, Alix. For our closing song, we've chosen a version of a song made popular by John Farnham and known as one of Australia's unofficial anthems, You're the Voice. This version is by Women for Climate Action and Hope. It is now time to extinguish the chalice. Kate will put the words into the chat box, and I invite you to say the words with me if you wish. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you. The closing words. Go now, as one day passes to the next, as 1 year passes to the next. Gather and craft the meanings of your year, great and small, shared and private. Help one another, bring justice, live joyfully. Our question for discussion is, what events and commemorations do you want to add to your calendar this year? Are there any that you might remove or change?